question. All right, we did numbers 1, 2, and 3 already, so next question here is find the distance between the 2 points. Let's just pick some random points here. Let's go 1, 4, and 7.
3.
Oh man, let's go -3. Okay, find the distance between those 2 points. And the distance formula is up here on the board, yellow sheet.
Thank you.
Okay, so we do the distance formula here. It would be parentheses squared, parentheses squared. Okay, there's a minus sign in these formulas. Okay, and we can do the x's first if we want. It doesn't matter which one. So if I go 1 minus 7, or my x's, I have to start with what's in the next one?
4.
4, so it's going to be a 4 minus -3. Okay, so this turns into a -6 in parentheses squared. And then, yep, that's a 4 plus a 3, which is actually a 7 squared. So 7 squared would be 49. 6 squared is a positive 36. And what's 36 plus 49?
85.
85. Okay, is there any perfect squares in that? What's 85 divided by 5? Just to see if there's anything else. There's probably not, but 17. Okay, 17 is not perfect. If there was a perfect square, then you would reduce that. Okay, so that would be my distance. Questions on that? All right. Next question. Find the equation. Find the equation of a line with the given information. Okay, give me some coordinates.
6, 7, 3.
6, -7, 3,
0.
0. Okay,
Ooh, line.
find the equation of that line. Of that lime. Just a line, not a lime. A line that has a curve, and that'd be a little harder to figure out. Is that what we got for a slope?
Yes.
Okay, and then you have a slope and you have a point. So then you can use point and slope formula. Wow, this is a nice problem here. Y minus 0 is y. And then it's that x, and negative, negative make a plus, and the 3 and 3 cancel, and we get 7. Is that right?
Yeah.
We use the other coordinates. You can do that. I'll do the other coordinate here, so if you want to do the other coordinate, we could do it that way. So instead of a 3 and a 0, I'm going to do -7 here and a 6 here. So again, it'd be -7/3 x. Negative make a plus. If I do 6 over 1, I can cross cancel there. 3 goes into there once, 3 goes into 6 twice. So -7 times 2 would be, or negative make a positive. So it'd be 14 there. And then this would be y plus 7. And I'm going to minus the 7 over. So then y equals -7/3 x plus 7. So you're good? Okay. Next question here. There's 2 of them. It says determine if the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So if I gave you 2 lines like x plus 2y equals 14, and the other equation is going to be maybe 3x plus 6y equals 10. How am I able to figure out those are parallel, perpendicular, or neither? Get them into y equals, yep, slope-intercept form. What do you notice about these same slopes? So what do we know? Parallel. Yep. So that's the symbol for parallel there. You can write it out, but parallel lines. Okay, let's say I have an equation like this. Y equals -3/4 x plus 7. And y equals -4/3 x plus 3. Are these perpendicular?
Yes.
No.
What would the negative reciprocal of this guy be? 4 over 3, you'd flip it and make it negative, and if it's already negative, it turns to positive. So this one would be a what? A neither, okay? Okay, but if I didn't have this negative sign here, now what would this one and this one be now? Now, they'd be perpendicular. Does that make sense, the difference between them? Okay. Another question here is find an equation. Okay, so find an equation of a line that is A, parallel, and then B, perpendicular to this equation. So y equals 3x plus 1, and then it's going to be at the point 1 comma -1. Okay, so find an equation that is parallel to this line at that point and perpendicular to this line at that point. about parallel lines?
Same slope.
Same slope, so if this is 3, then my new slope is 3, and my point is 1 comma negative 1, so then you can do point slope. So y minus my y value equals m times x minus my x value. Is the answer for the parallel line? Okay. We'll do perpendicular. So what's the perpendicular slope gonna have to be here? What's the negative reciprocal of 3? Negative 1 over 3, yep. And then the point is 1 comma negative 1. So I need to do point slope again. So y minus my y value equals negative 1/3 x minus my x value. So negative 1/3 x plus 1/3. And then a 1 here plus a y. Minus the 1 over. Y equals negative 1/3 x minus 2/3. Questions on that? Is that right? Yeah. Alright. Next two problems will say give the domain of the function. So give the domain of the function.
Is this number 8?
Yeah, I think so. So there's question, or 8, and then we'll go question 9. Okay, how are we able to give the domain of the function? Probably gotta do what? Graph it?
Alright then. No, I think that first one is forever. Looks like an Atari sign. Okay, maybe. Well, it was way different.
Did you put parentheses around the bottom?
No.
So then we gotta remember to do that, yep. Okay, and some might have the asymptote showing, some might not. What does domain values? What values? X's. So what X's would work?
All of them.
All of them except what?
4 and negative
4 and negative.
Correct. So what you could say here is X cannot equal 4 and X cannot equal negative 4. So it's all real numbers except those ones. So
Can you just go plus and minus 4?
yeah, you can do plus or minus 4, yep. So that'll be the domain of that one. All real numbers except that. Okay, let's do the next one then. So then y equals
Can't see it.
square root of x.
So, when you're given the domain, you're just finding words not crossing the x-axis.
Yeah, because we're assuming that everything on that one. If you write it as not equals, that says that it's all real numbers except those two. You could write it out all real numbers except 4 and negative 4, and that's also correct. Okay, domain. Now if I was zoomed out, so if I go zoom and I go out, there's actually more to it. It keeps extending that direction, right? So zoom 6. So what answers work here for my domain?
X is
Greater than or equal to 8?
Greater than or equal to,
8.
yep. So x is greater than or equal to 8 would be my domain. Anything above 8 in the x value would be showing. There's nothing over there. Question?
No.
Okay, let's try number 11.
Would have to be 10.
Huh? Well, that was 10. Or that was actually, this was 9 and 10 actually. 8 was the other one. We're just getting wild. So technically this would be number 11. So I got an equation. Okay, I want you to find f of 0, f of half, and f of negative 2.
Wait, did you?
I did, yeah. I don't know where I messed up, but. Three was the first answer?
Yeah.
Again, you can plug this in your calculator. Square a half, it's a fourth. A quarter of 2 would be half. Oh, that's wild. Could that also give me 3? Because a quarter of 2 would be a half, and then half minus half is 0 plus 3. Would hook me up with a 3. And then the third one would be 2, plug in negative 2 squared minus 2 plus 3. Minus negative 2, I gotta put a negative in that too. So this will turn into 4 times 2 would be 8 altogether there. This turns into a plus 2 plus 3. Is that 13? For the third one?
Yeah.
Questions on that? Alright. Next one here. Find, this is number
12.
12, yep. Find all vertical asymptotes. Okay, so let's say I got x squared plus 3 on top over x cubed. Let's go with 12x. And let's go there. Okay, so find all vertical asymptotes. How do you get an asymptote? How do you get an asymptote when you divide by 0? So if I solve that by setting it equal to 0, that could give me the answer. How do I solve that? What's common?
X.
An x, so could I factor an x out in front? Okay, and then I'm left with a what? An x squared plus 7x plus 12. Does that break down further? X times x gives me x squared. What times what gives me 12? 3 times 4. How do you get a positive 7 out of that? Both are positive. So if you factored that, that's what we would factor into. So what are the zeros of the function there on the bottom? X equals 0, negative 3, negative 4. So those are the 3 asymptotes that you would get out of that.
So I just factor that, that's all.
Yep. And if you plug in your calculator, you could see those are the three numbers where it would have had asymptotes. Questions on that one? Alright,
Hey, would there be anything at the top?
what?
Would there be anything to do with the top?
No, the asymptotes only happen when you divide by 0. The top could be maybe where it crosses the x-axis, there's a potential chance of it crossing. It doesn't have to, but the vertical asymptotes are only when you set the bottom equal to 0. Okay, next one here. Sketch a graph of the function showing extrema intercepts and vertical asymptotes.
Just vertical?
Yep, just vertical. So let's say I have 3 over x squared minus 16. Okay, try that one as 1. That'll be number 13, and then 14 is another one like that.
Extreme is the maximum.
Extrema is the maximum and minimum, correct. Okay, are there any maxes or mins here?
Yes.
Right here, do you see that there might be a max? So you'd sketch this graph out. We can find my asymptotes too, right? How do you find the asymptotes? And that's when what, the bottom equals 0. So x and x, what times that gives me 16?
4.
How's the middle term drop out?
Negative and positive.
Yep, so is that -4 and +4 my asymptotes?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I sketch my graph here, I see at -4 and at 4, you got asymptotes. I see it looks something like this, something like it comes here, and then something here. Okay, does it have any x-intercepts?
No.
It won't touch here and here. I'm not sure if it touches here. We can do that though. Go to your calculator
No.
and second calculate. So second calculate the
Zeros.
zeros of the function. If it does, it'd be right here. So left bound, click over. You can tell the y value is negative there. Hit enter. Right bound, click over. The y value here is still negative, so I don't think it does.
I got this. Yep, that.
Yep, so there's no zeros of the function, so quit. Okay, so no zeros, so you write no x-intercepts. Okay, how about y-intercepts? How do we calculate that? Second, calculate the value when x equals what?
0.
0. So right here when my x's are 0, that's the height at the y-axis. And it's -0.1875. That also is this number right here, 3/16. If I go second quit and go 3 divided by 16, is that the same 0.1875? Yep, so -3/16 is the y-intercept. Is that also the maximum there on that curve? The peak? And it is. Uh-oh. Did it again. There we go. Okay, so if I come over here, this spot here is -3/16. Isn't that also your peak? Okay, so then the max would be max at 0 comma -3/16. There is no minimum. So I got the extremas, which are the max and the mins, the intercepts, and what are my vertical asymptotes? VA. 4 and -4. So that's everything that you need for that. Okay, so here's that information, and then here's the graph. Questions on that?
No.
Okay, do you want to do another one of those, or should we jump to the last thing? There's another problem just like that. You'll do the same thing. Find the maxes, find the mins. If you want to find the max, how can you do that on my calculator? Second calculate.
Maximum.
The maximum,
Left bound, right bound, gas bound.
yes. You guys are professionals with that. So left bound, and get far enough over here to the left. Hit enter. Right bound, click far enough over to the right. Hit enter. Guess. Hit enter. So then, yep. And then what's e to the negative anything turn into what number?
0.
0. So that's 0 comma that fraction, which is exactly what I had there. Okay, there'll be another problem like that, and then these are the last problems. So let's say I say reflect. This is the inverse stuff now.
Oh no.
Reflect the graph
Oh no.
across the line y equals x. Okay, so here's my graph. Let's say I make my graph look like this. Okay, I want you to reflect that over the line y equals x. So the line y equals x would be right here.
Yep.
Okay, and again, the easiest way if you don't know how to flip it, is maybe come over here and figure out maybe what coordinate would that be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe up 1. So it'd be -5, 1. What would the new coordinate have to be? 1, -5. So then over 1 and down 5, so right here, if you can't visually reflect it. And then maybe pick another coordinate like this one. What would that coordinate maybe be?
-1, 1.
-1, 1, so what's my new coordinate going to be?
1, -1.
1, -1, so over 1, down 1. So 1 comma -1. And then do you see how these would be connected from here to here? So then these would be connected.
Sure.
Okay, and then maybe pick another one, like let's pick this one, over 1 and up maybe 4. So if this coordinate is 1 comma 4, what's the new coordinate going to be? 4, 1. So over 4, up 1. And is that matching up now? And then you see how then it would just finish going that way? And I've now reflected over the line y equals x. So if you don't know how to reflect it nicely, that's the best way to do it. Is just pick random coordinates, draw them in there, and then you can then reflect them. The other one I should do also on this one is I should, if I know this crosses the y-axis at -2, or at 2, sorry, this would cross at 2. Help? Okay, sounds good. Yep, bye. Okay, and then we'll do one more here. last one.